बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़्दतुम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली. Students, today we are starting Goodbye Mr. Chips by James Hilton. First of all, I will tell you about James Hilton briefly, then briefly the main characters of Goodbye Mr. Chips, and then chronological summary of the novel. Goodbye Mr. Chips is a novel by James Hilton. James Hilton was born September 9, 1900 and died December 20, 1954, United Kingdom. He was a journalist and an English novelist. He is best remembered for several bestsellers, including Lost Horizon and Goodbye Mr. Chips. In 1938, he had moved to America and wrote Hollywood screenplays. He won an Academy Award in 1942 for his work on the screenplay of Mrs. Meaniwald, based on the novel by John Strother. My dear students, Goodbye Mr. Chips is a novella about the life of a school teacher named lovingly called Mr. Chipping and his long tenure Brookfield School. It's a fictional minor British boys' boarding school located in the fictional village of Brookfield in Newfoundland. Little Brown and Company USA first published Goodbye Mr. Chips in June 1934, and it attracted a lot of people. It was also published by Hodder and Stockton, UK in October 1934. At the day of its publication, 15,000 copies were sold. It has been adapted into 2 cinema films, 2 television presentations, radio and theatre. James Hilton portrayed his teacher, W.H. Balgarni, as Mr. Chips. Balgarni served at the Leys School, Cambridge. Now, the introduction of the characters of Goodbye Mr. Chips. Important characters are Mr. Chips, Catherine, Mrs. Wicket, Mr. Ralston, Mr. Chatteris. The main character is Mr. Chips. Mr. Chipping, known as Mr. Chips, is the hero of the novel. He teaches at Brookfield School for 45 years, a very devoted and disciplined man. Next comes Catherine. Catherine Bridges is Mr. Chips' wife, only 25, a very dynamic lady. She brings positive changes in Mr. Chips. She dies after 2 years. Next, Mrs. Wicket. She is Mr. Chips' landlady. Mr. Chips lives in her house as a paying guest. She respects and looks after him in a very good manner. Then comes Mr. Ralston, a young headmaster of 37, a very authoritative and modern. He has a row with Mr. Chips on the matter of Chips' retirement. Mr. Chatteris. Mr. Chatteris is another headmaster who respects Mr. Chips, and he requests Mr. Chips to rejoin school during the World War I. My dear students, now I will give you the chronological summary of Goodbye Mr. Chips by James Hilton. First, 1848. Mr. Chips was born in 1848. No mention of his parents nor his relatives. Then, 1869. At 21, after graduating from Cambridge, Mr. Chips joined Melbury School, but due to some disciplinary issues, he had to leave it. 1870. Mr. Chips, a handsome and gorgeous youth of 22 years. He joined Brookfield School. His first meeting with legendary headmaster Mr. Weatherby. He prepared the syllabus of Latin and Greek. Mr. Weatherby died in 1870. He joined Brookfield in 1840. Mr. Meldrum replaced him and he remained headmaster till 1900. Franco-Prussian War started. Chips punished Colley. He taught 3 generations of his family. (1870 to 1896). He realized his medical degree, settled at Brookfield. He was liked and respected, but not loved by the pupils. 1896. He went to the Lake District during summer vacation with his colleague Rawdon, who had to come back after a week. On the Great Gable, in his effort to help a girl, he slipped and wrenched his ankle. And the girl was Catherine, who took him to his residence and nursed him. She was a very beautiful girl of 25 years. Mr. Chips was 48. They fell in love with each other and got married in London. On the night before wedding, she said goodbye, Mr. Chips, with a mock gravity. This phrase became the title of this novel. She proved a wonderful wife who created very positive changes in Mr. Chips that brought him love of the students. She became popular among the staff and students alike. She actively participated in all school activities, social and musical concerts. She herself was a good musician. She gave the idea of playing match between the boys of Mission School and those of Brookfield. At first, everyone opposed the idea, but she convinced them all. This match proved to be a wonderful success. Then comes 1898. Just after 2 years of their successful married life, she died in childbirth along with their infant son. Chips could never forget her. 1900. Mr. Meldrum died and Mr. Chips was appointed the acting head of Brookfield first time. Mr. Ralston, a young man of 37, was appointed headmaster. He was very strict and modern and wanted the same from the staff. He could reduce the big hall to silence by just lifting his eyebrow. Ralston didn't like Mr. Chips for his old methodology and varied attitude. 1908, Mr. Chips became 60. Ralston asked him to retire, but he refused. A row started between the two. It was overheard by a student. The news spread like wildfire that Ralston insulted Mr. Chips. Everyone, along with the board, stood by Mr. Chips, so he stayed. 1911, Ralston left Brookfield, and even younger man of 34, Mr. Chetris appointed headmaster of Brookfield. In 1911, Mr. Chetris recognized in Mr. Chips a Brookfield institution. Both of them respected each other. In 1913, at 65, Mr. Chips got bronchitis and finally decided to retire. He delivered a historic speech on this eve. He started living at Mrs. Wickett's house across the road. He kept in touch with school. He often went there to see matches. Mr. Chips invited new staff and boys to tea at his house. In 1914, 28 July 1914, World War I started. Most of the teachers joined the war. That created problem for Mr. Chetris to run the school smoothly. He was diabetic also. In 1916, in July, Mr. Chetris requested Mr. Chips to rejoin Brookfield, which he radically accepted with a holy joy in his heart. Now comes 1917. Mr. Chips fell ill in winter and ultimately died in April. In April 1917, Mr. Chips was appointed acting head second time, but he refused to be a permanent headmaster of Brookfield. Then comes 1918. World War I ended on 11 November 1918. The school celebrated it. He got cold during the celebrations, and on the same night he sent his resignation. 1930, he made his will. He gave his legacies to Mr. Wickett and mission. Also founded an open entrance scholarship to the school. 1933. In November 1933, a small boy, Linford, came to see Mr. Chips. Mrs. Wickett was off to village. Mr. Chips had to receive him. Mr. Chips served him tea and then saw him off at the front door. Linford said, "Goodbye, Mr. Chips." He recalled Catherine used the same words. Tears came in his eyes. He got cold and fainted. When he came to senses, he found Mrs. Wickett, Dr. Marvel, Cartwright, that was the new headmaster, and old buffles there around him. At last, he died at the age of 85 years, dreaming of thousands of boys he had taught. Okay, beta, this was the summary of the whole novel. Allah Hafiz.